let's go over to pop.dev and we can search for the equatable package. We can see that package over here, 2,000 likes. So it basically carries out all of, you can see, right, exactly what we've done, right? It carries out all of that for us, right? It does all of that for us implicitly. So all we have to do is pass it the list. We have to pass it a list of every property that we want to use for our value equality. Alright, so if we wanted to use ID, we will pass only ID in here. We override this props and we pass it in there. If we wanted to use ID and name, we will also pass in the ID and the name in there. Alright, so let's go ahead and also do that in here. Let's start by adding flutter pub add equatable and flutter pub get. If you're on VS Code, the flutter pub get will be run automatically after you add a package because it listens to your prospect YAML whenever there's a change. Alright, so let's go ahead and close this bit up. And in here, in order to use it, we can see in the documentation, you can go ahead and read this, but I'm just going to talk you through it. So in order to use that, we can make that class that we want to change to use value equation, I don't know, right? We can change that class and make it extend the equatable. We can see it's screaming at us. It needs to overwrite something, the props. We can click on that to create it, remove the to do, and finally pass it the things we need to use for equation, in this case an ID. Alright, so we want, whenever the IDs are the same, we know it's the same person, no matter what name they carry or what avatar they carry. If their names are different and their avatars are different, so far as they have the same ID, it's the same person. Alright, so this is it for our entity. Right, we have our user entity. Let's go ahead and create the next module. The next module will simply be our repository. So remember, we have the entity, which hosts the blueprint of the data will pass around the layers of this particular feature. In this case, the authentication feature. After that, we create the repository, so it could hold more than one repository, right? So in here, we can call that authentication. I dislike typing, oh my days, repository. Dislike typing them out. I normally just do auth repo, and that's it. But for just to be a good boy, right? So repositories, authentication repository. Let's go ahead and create that. Now this is meant to be a contract, meant to be an interface. It should define how or what this layer, this feature, what functionalities it carries, right? But it doesn't actually implement them. It doesn't give a body to its function, right? So in that case, we will use an interface. In Java, we have interfaces. I think we also have interfaces in Kotlin. I'm not sure. But then in Flutter and Dart, I'm sure that we don't have the interfaces, but we have something similar. We have abstract classes, right? So we can create an abstract class. We can call that authentication repository, right? Boom. And then we can have the constant, oh my days, constant authentication repository. And in here, no, we don't take anything. We just make a constant. We make that a constant, and what do we want to do? So first of all, we want to create user using the post endpoint. And to create a user, I think we should pass in the user. What three things do we need? I think we need the username, the creator, that the name, and the avatar. All right, so this will be automatically generated by the server. So we can use the creator that. So for that we can use required string. Is it string? It could be a date time, but let's make it string because we're basically using a string. Created at, we can do required string name, required string avatar. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Alright, so now we have to add the type. What type is it going to be? Right, it's going to be a future void, because after we create the user, we don't need any information from the server. We don't want to store its information, right? It will give us back the user, but we don't need it. Alright, we only need the users when we're fetching all users in our use case. Right, so and finally we also have future lists. We need a list of all users. So when we fetch the information from the server, we get all users from the server. We want to store that in the list and create users from it. Right. So we import the users. So list of users. Right. And we're gonna call that get users. So this is what we're expecting. So we're defining the contract. What are we gonna give to it? Nothing, because we can just query the server and say, give me all users that you've got. Right, so this is what we have. All right. Now, here comes the. I think it's a little difficult to wrap your head around, but let me walk you through it. So normally this is great and all right. So this is great, but then what if there's an error from the server? What if the server does not this function does not complete successfully, whether from the server or from Dart? Maybe you passed in something wrong here, and your Dart is screaming, "Oh, something wrong's happened." Right? What if the server does not actually complete successfully? How do we know? All right. So in order to know, I'm really try not to confuse you, but in order to know, we can use two data types. All right. So recently, Dart has implemented records. Right. So we could have over here, I don't know, exception, and still have void. So Dart has made this possible. All right. So Dart has made this possible. We have records. If you go to the, I think, Dart 3.10 records were added to the Dart SDK. I don't know what particular Dart version it got added, but it was 3 point something, right? So we've added records so we could know. So now we need to know that this can either return a failure or void. It can complete void. This one as well can either return us an exception or a list of users, right? So they have two return types, but this isn't the way we do it in clean architecture. Clean architecture, we need to use something from functional programming. It's not only in functional programming that we use this, but we just need a type that returns two types. So I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So let's see what that means, right? So we could have, when we go over to the pop.dev, we can search for a package called dartz. There's other packages that also do this, but in our case, we're going to use dartz. So we need to be able to return both a failure. I think my internet is really slow today. We need to be able to return both an exception and the actual type that we need. All right. So in that case, we will use a package called dartz. Here we are. The dartz is opened up, so you can see it adds a bit of functional programming into your Dart project. All right. So this is dartz. Let's go ahead and copy this. Let's go over here and add the dartz package. Dart. Now Dart exposes a data type called either. You see, so it has a left and a right side. So it can have two types. So we basically have two types in one. Right, so we have a left side. In this case, the left side can return an exception. We can have a right side which can return void. So when we save this, we can simply say the result of this function dot left or the result of this function dot right. So if we check and the left is null, then we know, right, that the exception wasn't thrown. If we check and the right was null, then we know that there was an exception. So meaning that this side didn't complete, it was this side that completed. So either one of them must be returned, right? So when it returns the left side, we know there's an exception. When it returns the right side, we know there was success. All right, so let's go ahead and use that. So it will be future either. Over here we can have an exception, but then remember, in clean architecture we have to separate our ideas. We have to separate the interfaces. So in this case, we will not directly be dealing with exceptions in the domain layer. All right, in the domain layer, we will be dealing with our own custom type called a failure. All right, so we will create a failure. So a failure will contain the message and the status code from the server. All right, but then an exception will live in the data layer because the exceptions are things that we get from the server from Dart. Remember, the data layer is there to interact directly with the external services. So these external services will throw exceptions at us, and we expect the data layer to catch those exceptions, convert them into a suitable failure for us, and then return them here.